Hello Sagittarius, welcome to your intuitive read with me, Age of Aquarius Tarot. Thank you for stopping by. We'll get started right away. The way that I work is I pull 3 major cards at the beginning of the reading and then I do a classic 9 card spread. So we'll pull your 3 just to get an overarching kind of energy for the month of September, since this is a monthly read. The World, the Emperor, and the Hanged Man. Okay, so we'll discuss these 3 before we do the 9 card spread. The World is about beginnings and endings and cycles and completions. So perhaps it's time to step into new things and also time to step into your personal power. We have, I'll just show you the artwork on the cards. Sorry, I know it's very bright in here. That's the Emperor. And the Hanged Man. I don't think my camera's focusing very well. Overall, the general feeling I'm getting so far is that there's certain things that are perhaps ending and new beginnings for you, perfect for the month of September. And we have the Hanged Man, so it might mean about it might reference gaining certain information that was perhaps unavailable to you before, and the reason why you couldn't step into your personal power, or you might have felt very out of control. It can also mean illumination in terms of finding out what works for you, finding out something new, and perhaps making different choices. The Hangman to me is also about consequences catching up with actions. So perhaps this, of course for the good and the bad, so this might mean that where you've been unable to seize your own power back from a situation or you felt powerless, things are finally turning for you, or you're able to resolve the reason as to why that happened. But we'll have to delve into the 9 card spread more. So we'll come back to these and we'll do the 9 card spread next. Okay. You've turned up in your own reading, Sagittarius. A lot of mages. Okay. Oops. Try and straighten this out. On the bottom row we have the 6 of Swords, Judgment, and the Page of Wands. Death. Actually, this might be too far if we do it this way. Death, 7 of Cups, and the Magician. The Ace of Cups, Temperance, you, and the Tower in reverse. Okay. Generally, I read the Tower as upright. I mean, of course, as a positive kind of illumination of information, finding things out, sudden news that almost changes your life in a way, because the mages are about the bigger life events, right? And then we have like the smaller cards, like the 7 of Cups and stuff here. You do have proportionally a lot of mages in this 9 card spread, and we'll clarify a little bit more later. But right off the bat, I want to say that with the World and the Emperor, which is what I was referring to about perhaps things ending and beginning and feeling stuck as to why you can't come into your own personal power, we have like this Tower in reverse. I almost want to say it's like a delay. It's a delay of something. And the reason that I say that is because the next card next to it is Temperance, which of course is Sagittarius, but Temperance is also about patience, the incredible patience that it takes to know that things aren't going your way and pursue like that change anyway, and wait for circumstances to change, because it's not always in your hands. If perhaps things like coronavirus have put you out of work, there's really nothing that you personally can do about that. But overall I see this energy resolving itself. It's like Temperance, it's like the pouring back and forth of the cup, and it's like finally there's one full cup for you. It's like I can keep one cup full, but then I have to transfer it to the other. It's like for everything that goes right, it almost feels like another step backwards. But here, look, this is being resolved for you in the month of September. The cup is finally full, and the Ace of Cups is about deep emotional fulfillment, but also about things that matter a lot to you personally. It's also water energy, so if this is about perhaps a relationship that you've been stuck in, the cup is finally being refilled again. But I'll delve more into whether this is about a relationship. It really feels like almost like it's about generally your whole life. It kind of feels like a lot of things have been plaguing you, Sagittarius, and it's seemed impossible for you to put it right as you're pouring this water back and forth. But it's like finally in the month of September we have a breakthrough with the Magician. It's like all the tools are finally at your disposal to give you your dream life. I see the Seven of Cups as opportunities. Sometimes we're drawn to one opportunity over the others, and with the Death card next to the Seven of Cups, it might mean that finally you're making one option. Again, you have your one cup here, you can only perhaps choose one of these cups, and it means like it's a certain death towards the other 6 cups that you're not choosing. But overall I feel like it's a good thing. Death represents to me also rebirth, so things changing for the better. So with this Ace of Cups being like a new beginning, the Page of Wands, which is about going out there and seeing the world, the Six of Cups, which is about leaving your the Six of Swords, which is about leaving your comfort zone, and the Magician, which is like kind of using all the tools at your disposal to change your circumstances and really bring about significant change. You're definitely leaving behind this energy of perhaps not having enough, not being in control, not being able to best your circumstances, instead having them best you. All of that is changing for the month of September. Big time. We have the Death card, of course. So this is big changes, and the reason that I say that is with the next row you have the Page of Wands, which is like curiosity about the world. And to me, this is like a freeing energy, because we have the Magician right under that. And it's like being free to pursue whatever it is that brings you the most passion. Again, we have Wands, that's fire energy. So it can really mean stepping into that kind of Sagittarian love to travel, love to experience new things, meet new people. Yeah, again, so the Six of Swords can be a travel card. But it also means kind of like leaving behind the familiar for the unknown, like uncharted waters kind of energy. So with that being under the Death card, it makes perfect sense. But the reason that I was referring to big changes is this bottom row with the Page of Wands and Judgment. Judgment is about like liberating yourself from the past, or sorting out the past, like having your affairs in order so that you can move on. Overall, if this is about a relationship, I would perhaps say that if you're in conflict with your person, you're definitely making new choices that kind of like perhaps you wouldn't expect yourself to make, and things are perhaps ending. So for some of you this can of course mean a breakup, but the general feeling that I'm getting is almost like refiguring out your whole relationship to do things differently, like doing things differently to make the both of you happy. Judgment is also about letting the past lie, so to me it's like letting things that have already happened lie. Like there's no point reliving the past constantly if it's stopping you from moving on to the future. Overall, I would say that a lot of opportunities are coming your way, and things that you've really been hoping to bring about, you're with that Magician card, you finally can make a choice in these cups. Choices are finally being presented to you, and this kind of like impasse energy is being lifted, which with the Tower in reverse and the Hangman, I can kind of see that this is coming to a natural end in a way that is beyond your means of control. It's like some kind of major, because you have so many major arcana, some kind of major life events or like external circumstances are finally shifting to give you the life that you want, or to make the decisions that you previously felt that you couldn't make. But we'll pull some extra cards. Yeah, this is just a very straightforward reading of like entirely good news for the month of September. I would say don't be scared of death. With that death card, sometimes it's about your reaction to things ending rather than about things ending themselves. People do seek the familiar, and here we have, you have to let the past lie in order to go on this journey into unfamiliar waters. But I'll pull some extra cards and we'll see what's going on with this Ace of Cups, Page of Swords. Yeah, completely new beginning, Sagittarius. Death and the Fall. And the Six of Swords. Okay. Yeah, and we'll pull one more for your center spread. Overall, like, the center spread card is the most important, and you're being given a lot of choices. With that, the Magician next to it and Death there, and the Fool, which is new beginnings, it can mean like, just like whatever your wishes are, like just making wishes come true. I might make that the title of this video. Okay. And we have the Devil for the center card clarifier. Okay, I want to start with the center card clarifier being the Devil. The Devil to me is generally a card of free will. And it's like, what are you controlling and what's controlling you? So perhaps what's controlling you is your circumstances, and you're finally being kind of given like that magic wand to wave to change your circumstances. And that's definitely happening. We have Death and the Fool here. And then underneath of that, look, we have leaving your comfort zone with the Six of Swords here. This is like new beginning after new beginning, and it can seem scary because, you know, unfamiliar waters, there's perhaps a lot of weight from the past and like having to resolve things. It's almost like, is luck finally coming my way? Like, is this really meant for me? And the answer is yes. You have the Sun as like, I feel like this card, unfamiliar waters, and then above that Death and the Fall, and we have the Sun. It's like you're only moving into positive light energy. You're only moving into like good things, into being able to relax, enjoy the warmth, having your day in the sun. Especially with this Page of Wands, it's like finally getting out there to experience the good things the world has to offer. Things finally going your way. The Fool's very unburdened. He's very untroubled. And often it can mean like seeing the world through a fresh new pair of eyes. With the Page of Wands, pages are all about the curiosity of the world. So whatever it is that you've been dreaming about, with the Seven of Cups, I almost feel like saying, you know the saying, the grass is greener on the other side? Well, this time the grass actually may be greener on the other side. So if you feel drawn towards something where you're like, this might mean that I have to make an abrupt change, or it might mean that I have to give certain things up, and you're not attached to those things, then definitely go for it, because it's only going to bring you good. For some of you, I feel like this could be regarding jobs, or specifically maybe about a business going your way. It's like there's so many risks associated with whatever it is that you're trying to do that, you know, it's like Judgment's kind of holding you back. Judgment, sometimes I see the Judgment card as like your own worst critic. Only you know, like, no one can pick you apart at faults and weaknesses the way that you can. And with the World, it's like it's time to try new things. With the Page of Wands and like the World being one of your majors, I would say like, look, it's time to get out there. It's time to see the world. It's time to experience things. It's time to do things differently. And don't be scared of that energy. For those of you, I mentioned at the start with the Ace of Cups about this being potentially about a relationship and kind of like doing things differently. It's kind of hard for me to say, because overall I feel like this is like big changes throughout your whole life, and it's like a relationship, though it might be important, it's only one facet of who you are. So I don't want to give like all the importance to being in a relationship, because I feel like that, you know, it can like make who you are, but it shouldn't be who you are. So we're going to pull like a couple more relationship cards. Okay. We have the Wheel of Fortune, which is about things changing, and we have the Two of Swords. Along with that, we have, next to this Ace of Cups, we have the Page of Swords. So what this is telling me is that perhaps with this inverse Tower and Temperance, and it can mean like one person feels almost stuck. It's like, there's things that I wish I could say, but I feel like I can't say because I have a fear of losing the relationship over the things that I feel like I really have to say, because they're kind of almost making me unhappy. I'm drawn towards the like, almost like the spouting tears out of this Ace of Cups. But it's saying that you've kind of, with the twos, I always say twos are about enlightenment. Perhaps the person realizes what this unhappiness is, and they're waiting for you to say something with this Page of Swords. The Page of Swords is like, I dislike secrets. It's about being the speaker of truth. And with the Wheel here, it's like it's time to try something new, otherwise you might actually lose this relationship. And so for those of you that this is about a relationship, it might mean like the Emperor is about the courage to stand up for yourself, and the Hangman is about like spilling those secrets, to giving that illumination, and actions and consequences. So if someone's been hurting you with their actions, they should feel the consequences in a managed, appropriate way. And I would suggest, you know, with the Wheel of Fortune, confront them, not of course in like an aggressive way, but overall it's like the confrontation is like a good thing. The Page of Swords here is, he's here to say the truth that need to be said, and it brings about a change for the both of you, which I almost feel like it's like liberating you from like difficult energies. For some of you, if this is about someone that you want to break up with, I have to be honest, the cards are saying do it. It's like, because with the Two of Swords here, sometimes it can mean that like our mind is made up. We just want to say it at the right time. And you have a lot going on in this spread. And if a relationship is really holding you back and you don't want to be in it, then I'm saying, you know, ditch it. But for those of you that's like, there's certain things about this relationship that are making you unhappy, then speaking to this person is going to alleviate a lot of like troubles from the past, and it's finally going to let some of the problems lie. And overall you're both moving on into like a more stable energy. To that can, of course, for those of you staying in that relationship, it means together. So overall I would say, if you're worried like, oh, should I speak my mind, speak it, because it's only going to lead to better things down the path for you. And like, this isn't even, you know, from the cards, but if you're really holding something back, it's going to come out eventually. And the Wheel is like, the wheel will turn until it turns 360. So if you don't say it now, there will be a time when you're going to perhaps regret not having said it, or problems are going to be so bad that you're just going to wish that you'd said something. I feel very inclined to leave it there, so I hope that's given some of you the answers that you're seeking. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any feedback, please leave that in the comments for me. Things are going to be really good for you in the month of September, Sagittarius. This is like your month, I would say. So I'm wishing you lots of positivity with that. Thank you for watching.